Nia Carter, a Black CEO who built a hotel empire from the ground up, faced the ultimate humiliation when her own staff threw her out, mistaking her for an intruder. 9 minutes later, she walked back in, revealed her identity, and fired everyone involved, sending shockwaves through the industry. Nia Carter was no stranger to adversity. Born in 1985 in a working-class neighborhood in Memphis, Tennessee, she grew up watching her single mother juggle two jobs to keep the family afloat. Nia's sharp mind and relentless ambition set her apart early on. She earned a scholarship to Vanderbilt University, where she studied business and graduated at the top of her class. By 2025, at the age of 40, Nia was the CEO of Carter Hospitality Group, a company she founded that owned a chain of boutique hotels across the Southeast. Her flagship property, the Carter Luxe in downtown Atlanta, was a crown jewel, known for its sleek design, impeccable service, and appeal to high-end clientele. Nia's rise was not without challenges. As a Black woman in a predominantly white, male-dominated industry, she faced skepticism at every turn. Investors questioned her vision, competitors underestimated her, and employees sometimes whispered about her unconventional leadership style. But Nia thrived on proving people wrong. She built her company on a foundation of excellence, hiring diverse staff and fostering a culture of respect and innovation. Her hotels were celebrated for their inclusivity, with staff trained to treat every guest with dignity. Or so she thought. On a busy Friday afternoon in June 2025, Nia decided to visit the Carter Luxe unannounced. She often conducted surprise visits to ensure her standards were being met, especially after receiving complaints about inconsistent service at the Atlanta location. Dressed casually in a blazer, jeans, and sneakers, she arrived at the hotel without her usual entourage. She wanted to experience the hotel as a guest would, to see the operation through fresh eyes. What happened next would become a defining moment in her career. As Nia entered the lobby, she noticed the front desk staff, a young white woman named Emily and a middle-aged white man named Greg, engaged in a heated discussion with a guest. The guest, a Black woman in her 50s, was visibly upset, clutching her reservation confirmation. Nia overheard Emily say, "Ma'am, I don't see your name in the system. Maybe you booked at the wrong hotel." The tone was dismissive, bordering on rude. Nia frowned but stayed silent, observing. The guest insisted her reservation was valid, but Greg cut her off, saying, "We're fully booked. You need to leave, or I'll call security." The woman left, her face a mix of frustration and humiliation. Nia approached the desk, intending to inquire about the incident. Before she could speak, Emily glanced at her and said, "Can I help you?" Her tone was sharp, her eyes narrowing as she took in Nia's casual attire. Nia introduced herself calmly, saying she was there to check on operations. Greg smirked, exchanging a look with Emily. "Operations," he said. "You don't look like corporate. Do you have an appointment?" Nia explained that she didn't need one. She was the CEO. Emily laughed, a short, incredulous sound. "Yeah, right," she said. "The CEO doesn't just walk in like that. You need to leave." Nia was stunned. She repeated her identity, offering to show her ID or call her assistant to confirm. Greg waved her off. "We don't have time for this," he said. "You're causing a scene." He signaled to a security guard, a burly man named Tom, who approached and grabbed Nia's arm. "Let's go," Tom said, steering her toward the exit. Nia, maintaining her composure, said, "This is a mistake. I own this hotel." The guard hesitated but followed Greg's orders, escorting her out. Guests in the lobby watched, some whispering, others filming on their phones. Nia stood on the sidewalk, her heart pounding with a mix of anger and disbelief. She didn't stay outside long. Nia pulled out her phone and called her chief operating officer, Marcus Wells, who was based in Atlanta. She explained the situation, her voice steady, but laced with fury. Marcus was appalled and promised to be there in minutes. Nia also contacted her lawyer, ensuring everything was documented. Within 9 minutes, Marcus arrived with 2 members of the corporate team, both carrying laptops with access to the company's records. Nia straightened her blazer, took a deep breath, and walked back into the Carter Luxe, flanked by her team. The lobby fell silent as Nia re-entered. Emily and Greg were still at the desk, laughing about something. Their faces froze when they saw her. Marcus stepped forward, holding up his tablet. "This is Nia Carter," he said, his voice carrying across the room. "CEO and founder of Carter Hospitality Group. She owns this hotel and every property in our portfolio." He pulled up Nia's corporate profile, complete with her photo and title, and showed it to the staff. Emily's face turned pale, and Greg stammered, "We didn't know." Nia cut him off. "You didn't ask," she said, her voice calm but unyielding. "You assumed I didn't belong here because of how I looked. You humiliated me in front of guests and threw me out of my own hotel." She turned to the gathered staff, who had emerged from various corners of the lobby. "This hotel was built on respect, integrity, and excellence. You failed at all three." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Effective immediately, everyone on shift right now is terminated. You'll receive your final paychecks, but you're done here." The room erupted in murmurs. Emily burst into tears, pleading that it was a misunderstanding. Greg tried to argue, claiming he was just following protocol. Nia didn't waver. "You had a choice," she said. "You chose prejudice over professionalism." She instructed Marcus to oversee the terminations and ensure the staff left the premises. Security, now under Marcus's direction, escorted the group out. Nia stayed, addressing the remaining employees who weren't on shift during the incident. She explained that the firings were necessary to protect the company's values and promised a thorough review of all operations. Word of the incident spread quickly. Guests posted videos online, and by evening, the story was trending on social media. News outlets picked it up, framing it as a powerful stand against discrimination. Nia issued a public statement, acknowledging the incident and outlining her commitment to retraining staff and strengthening anti-bias policies. She personally reached out to the Black guest who had been mistreated earlier, offering an apology, a full refund, and a complimentary stay. The guest, a retired teacher named Sandra, accepted and later became an advocate for Nia's reforms. Over the next weeks, Nia overhauled the Carter Luxe's operations. She brought in a diversity consultant to train staff, implemented stricter hiring protocols, and installed cameras to monitor guest interactions. She also created a guest feedback system to catch issues early. The terminations sent a clear message: no one was above accountability. Some criticized her actions as too harsh, arguing that the staff deserved a second chance. Nia disagreed. "Respect isn't negotiable," she told a reporter. "If you can't treat every person with dignity, you don't belong in my company." The fallout wasn't easy. Some former employees filed complaints with the labor board, claiming unfair dismissal. Nia's legal team handled the cases, and most were dismissed due to clear evidence of misconduct. The hotel faced a temporary staffing shortage, but Nia recruited new talent, prioritizing those with a track record of inclusivity. The Carter Luxe regained its reputation, with bookings surging as customers praised Nia's decisive leadership. Industry peers took note, and several hotel chains reached out to learn from her approach. Nia's story became a case study in leadership and accountability. She spoke at business conferences, sharing how the incident reshaped her perspective. "I built this company to prove that excellence knows no color," she said. "That day, I had to prove it again, to myself and to the world." The Carter Luxe thrived, and Nia continued to expand her empire, never forgetting the 9 minutes that tested her resolve but strengthened her legacy.